All right. So last night we watched Quantum of Solace,
Hmm.
and we were both kind of surprised as to the fact that it took place right after Casino Royale.
Yeah, like minutes.
Yeah. And it was like we were saying, it was kind of refreshing watching a movie that we didn't really remember or know what was happening. Because
Yeah,
I don't remember Quantum of Solace like at all.
yeah. All I remembered when I was watching it, I remembered like the fight scene in whatever, like that construction building in Italy, like in the
Oh yeah.
opening thing where he's on the ropes and they're all hanging and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember parts of that, and then I remembered pretty much the hotel at the end like blowing up.
Yeah.
That was it. Like I don't remember what was happening when things were blowing up.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Or
remember
why.
any. Yeah, or why? Right? Yeah,
That's pretty much all I remember is I remember the building in the desert,
you're right.
and I remember that guy's awful bowl cut. I remember I remember that guy for whatever reason.
That was bad too.
It was really bad. It was really bad. And then to find out that that was like a fake hairpiece when he like falls down the
Yeah, I
stairs. I was
know.
like, what?
I
Is
really
that fake?
wondered. I didn't get to look into like why Mr. Green was the way he was and why his henchman was the way he was. But
Yeah, I don't
to
know.
go from Mads Mikkelsen, who was like very,
Yeah.
I don't know, he was very a James Bond villain. He was very
Yeah. Evil,
sinister in his own way and
smart,
everything.
conniving. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this guy, and he was just like he felt, I don't know. He was a bad guy. I'm not saying like he
Yeah.
wasn't a villain. He just was like he didn't have the same weight that like a James Bond
He
villain
wasn't
had.
he wasn't a Bond villain. He was basically just like a normal like businessman that was doing
Yeah.
shady stuff on the side to make money. Like basically,
Yeah.
it's all he was. I mean, he's just a normal dude.
I guess they were really trying to open up into the world of
Yeah.
um the quantum stuff.
Yeah.
I guess the quantum stuff I mean it's still going on because the end of the movie dealt you don't know, like you said last night, we didn't hear the conversation with Mr. Green.
Yeah.
You don't know what he revealed to him.
Oh,
And then he met with Vesper's husband, and he don't know what he said, what he got from him.
yeah.
So it's still another. It's. I don't. I really honestly don't remember the movies connecting this much.
No, I don't either. The only thing of like Quantum that I kind of remember is what's the one after Skyfall?
Spectre
So Spectre, I just remember that big long like table that like all the villains are
and
sitting,
all the guys are at. Yeah,
and like that's Quantum. I think, if I remember right, I think that's like
I.
the Quantum group.
It probably is, but I think in James Bond, like whatever you want to call it, like lore,
Yeah.
I think Spectre is like MI6's Hydra. Like Spectre is
Oh.
the opposite.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
So
think so.
I don't know. I just that it's like all I really remember from that movie is like that scene and like not knowing who any of those characters were, and it's supposed to be like a big reveal, and you're like, I
I
don't know.
think that's why it was. Yeah, I think that's why it was so big. I think it was revealing that this is like an old timey.
Yeah.
It was like the old new James Bond movies revealing the like classic hidden,
Yeah.
like
Right.
bad people. I can't think of the stuff in Get Smart too. There's the other.
Oh yeah.
It's like the opposite of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think because I think it's literally like the Hydra thing. I think it's literally like a skull, and then it's like a skull like encircled, and then it has like these tentacles that come
Uh,
out, and
yeah.
it's like raindrop tentacles. I think you might be able to find an image of it online,
I'll have to look for it.
but um, yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see where the quantum goes because honestly, what I feel like what it is Spectre is the top, and then
Yeah.
the legs of whatever the tentacle thing, like Quantum is a part of
Right.
Spectre.
They're part of a bigger group.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's a guess. I realize I don't remember.
Yeah. No, that's why it'll be fun to like watch them and see exactly how they all connect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was nice. I don't know why I remembered this. I remembered like not liking this one as much as Casino, and I don't. I like
Yeah.
Casino more, but it's like it
No.
wasn't bad. It just was.
And it's funny because it's not. I was literally just thinking in my head, like, well, it's a slower paced movie, but it's not. It's not a slower paced movie at all.
No, no.
It's like barely any talking. It's like all action pretty much right to the end.
True. Yeah, it's true.
And Casino is like very slow paced.
It's very slow
Just
paced.
people
Yeah.
sitting at tables. It's just people drinking and like
Yeah.
basically
I
like
literally think the two movies are like a half an hour to 40 minutes shorter. I think Casino is like almost 45 minutes longer.
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that Casino feels more fast paced for whatever reason.
I think what happened in the movie with this movie with Quantum is that it just like had a lot more dialogue that you had to like actually follow.
Yeah.
And if you missed like chunks of it, it like the movie didn't hold your
Yeah.
hand and like re-explain
Right.
it. It was just like, well, if you missed that, you missed that. Like that's kind of what happened.
I kind of like that. I kind of like that in a movie where like they're not like hitting you over the head with
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah.
They're just like saying people's names and stuff, and it's just like if you're not picking up on it, then
Right,
well.
pretty much right. No, yeah, it's totally fine. It's just you have to. It's one of those movies like you have to pay attention to. If you look down or look away,
Yeah.
you miss out something.
Yeah, because there's that scene where they're doing like the money, like this money was in his pocket, and it correlates to this money. It's all the same build number.
Oh yeah.
And he used it to pay this guy, and they're like really talking about it. And you're like, I don't know who. You're trying to figure out like where it's going and like who they're talking about.
I remember the scene. You're talking about the scene where they're following Lachey's money or whatever, and they're like, "Well, couldn't this go anywhere?" And they're like, "Yes, but it also ties into these other people."
Yeah,
yeah,
because it was literally like using that to set up, because that was like the bodyguard. That was M's bodyguard, like personal bodyguard. He was a member of Quantum,
right?
And he had been her bodyguard for like 8 years. And he was a traitor essentially, and so he had like bills in his pocket that correlated to all this money that they paid to that Slate guy,
right,
to kill the Bond girl, whatever her name is in the movie. Forget.
I think Cammy or like Camille or something like that. I wrote it down. I wrote Cammy, but I don't know if that's their full name.
Yeah, Montes. Camille Montes is her name.
Okay.
Yeah. So like they're literally so they followed the money from that, but like we were saying, like that scene, if you don't like follow like the names and where it's going, like you don't.
Oh yeah, you have no idea.
Right.
Yeah.
So, right. So yeah. So after that bodyguard thing, he goes to find Slate, and he's like he's trying to find leads, but every guy that he comes across, he like gets no information from him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he doesn't get any. I mean, honestly, I think. Yeah, I mean, the one guy, he's just fighting for his life.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to catch him, and then it's just a fight for his life inside the construction building in Italy. But the second guy, I mean, they don't even talk.
No,
he just bursts out of the side room there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's the one thing we were saying was like how much the beginning of this movie kind of felt like a Jason Bourne movie, where they're like,
oh yeah,
across the roof and jumping through windows and going through apartments and jumping off, and like that close hand-to-hand combat, like inside buildings and stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because the first Bourne movie came out before this movie.
Probably, yeah, I would imagine so. You can look it up.
I remember. But that's kind of what it felt like anyway.
It certainly did. That part, especially when he's chasing the guy in Italy, like it was it's like shot for shot, almost like the part when he's running after him. Jason's running after him. Yeah, 2002 was the first Jason Bourne movie.
The only difference is Bond is running across those clay shingle tile.
Yeah.
Those roofs always remind me of Jurassic the second Jurassic Park movie where the raptors are sliding down the thing.
And that's the movie I'm trying to think. I was thinking, what is the movie where you see like the whole like I don't know what the term is, but you know what I mean, like where like they're all housed and they all slide off and smack in the face, and it's Lost World.
It is. It's Lost World. She's hanging off the side and she's pulling the one next to her off, and then their chain reaction sliding down.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's so funny. My brain was thinking, like, what is that movie?
That's immediately what I was thinking last night. But at least there was no gymnastic. There's no gymnastic scene.
That's true. Well, you know, dinosaurs aren't prepared for swinging drop kicks.
No, they've never seen it.
So this came out. So Quantum of Solace came out November 14th, 2018 or 2008. What am I saying? 2008, not 2018.
Okay.
So here in the United States. So that was literally, I think, like 2 years after the first movie.
Yeah.
And
what else wasn't the first Iron Man 2008?
Yeah.
Wow.
2000. That was that, and that was in May.
Yeah, so Bond would have been Christmas. Bond is usually the Christmas release.
Yeah, I want to say somewhere in there too is the Incredible Hulk.
Oh,
with Edward Norton.
Yeah, holy crap! Yeah,
it was. I think it was 2008. It might have been 2009. No, it was June. It was the next month.
Wow.
Next month was the Incredible Hulk.
I remember seeing that in theaters with my mom. The Incredible Hulk movie.
Yeah.
Man, this is actually pretty good for a Hulk movie.
I know compared to what they did with Eric Bana. I know.
Yeah, they're rough. It's really rough.
But so end of the year 2008. That was like Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, The Dark Knight had come out. A lot of stuff had come out that year.
That's a good year.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So it talked about how I read online that it was based off of a short story from one of Ian Fleming's books called For Your Eyes Only.
Oh, okay.
But I guess it was more like they only borrowed a couple things from it, and then most of it was just like, I guess the title was chosen from For Your Eyes Only. Quantum of Solace was chosen from that, and then the rest of it, I think, was mostly made up by the writers.
And then,
but it made
the intro song they use is Another Way to Die, which would also be a good Bond title.
Yeah. I forgot that because I said in the last video that I don't think a lot of them, almost all of them, say the title of the song.
Yeah.
But
so far the first two
don't. And now that I think about it, I don't, because the next one is Adele and she says Skyfall.
Yeah.
And then Spectre, I think, is what's his name?
I can't remember.
Gosh. The like falsetto guy that everybody likes. I can't think of his name.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Smith?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And it's something, I think, Writing on the Wall, I think is what it's called.
So literally Skyfall is the only one that says the name of the title.
Yeah. Oh no, the latest one, Billie Eilish says No Time to Die.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Billie Eilish.
Yeah. She does the latest.
It's actually really good.
It's not too bad. Yeah, I think she could have done better, or at least whoever did like the musical arrangement could have done better, but it's not bad. It's an interesting take on it.
Yeah.
But anyways, it made like 400, like over $400 million.
Wow.
Like that's like excluding the budget. It made that much of a profit. So
Wow.
it's
And that's
interesting. It's just like an interesting. It's one of those movies that I don't ever think about. I think about Casino Royale, and Skyfall, and Spectre, and now No Time to Die. I do not think of Quantum of Solace,
nope.
and I don't really know why because it wasn't
Yeah, I don't.
that terrible.
No, I don't know why I like wiped it out of my memory because I literally
Honestly, not to like rehash what we talked about last time, but I think it was just because we were living like a different, or we were living in the Iron Man and like Christopher Nolan Batman universe. Like that's
that's
what
right.
was
Yeah, everybody was
dominating.
talking
And then
about Dark Knight and Iron
exactly,
Man.
yep,
I think because like there hadn't been a really good James Bond movie like up until Casino came out.
right,
And like we were talking last time when Casino came out, everybody was talking about it.
right.
Everybody was
Yeah,
talking about how good it was. And I think
sure.
that drove people to go see Spectre. They're like, oh man, another Bond movie with Daniel Craig. It's a tie-in.
Yeah, probably.
Plus, there's not really a whole lot that comes out like during Christmas. So if you're gonna go see a movie
No,
with your family on Christmas or around Christmas, like a
yeah,
Bond movie is
it's not usually. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they kind of have like their big like winter blockbuster. I guess you would put it that way
yeah.
because they usually have something. You typically because like the last handful of years have been the Star Wars
Star Wars,
movies,
yeah.
right? And then there's been some other stuff I can't think off the top of my head, but yeah, anything that's like you're gonna get somebody, like a big. I don't want to say a family movie, but usually like a big blockbuster. They
Yeah.
usually try to put in the summer. I mean, we're
Well,
getting Spider-Man. I mean, that's
oh yeah,
that's that's supposed to be like a big, it's a big
that's a
blockbuster.
holiday
So
movie. Yeah.
so,
Yeah, it's interesting.
but it's weird because I think we'll have to see what when we go to look at the other two, Skyfall and Spectre. We'll have to see when they were released. I don't remember, but originally, No Time to Die was supposed to come out like in March before the
Oh,
pandemic. I think so. It was something like that, and it was
huh.
a weird release date.
It
But
is
they moved it around so much, so that might not even been the original date. I don't remember.
it's hard to keep track anymore because everything has been pushed
Yeah,
and
everything got shifted. Yeah,
who knows where anything is.
I know. So funny enough, I totally forgot because he's
Yeah.
really early into the movie was David Harbour,
Yeah.
and her name is like Olga something, the Camille Cammy girl.
Oh
But it
yeah.
was just so funny to have both. Like we last thing
We
talked about, had you seen Black Widow, and then now
yeah.
here in this movie, here are two like main cast members from
Yeah.
that movie. It was
Yeah,
pretty
that's
funny.
crazy. Yeah, and they fight each other in,
Yeah,
in Black Widow.
I know. It's the thing I never would have thought about when I watched it if I had remembered Quantum. But it's like, can you imagine like the two of them, like now they have their scene together and it's like, oh yeah, I remember working with you like 12 years ago type of thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Crazy.
Remember when we were in that Bond movie?
Right. Right.
Because like I was saying, like I didn't know him at all
Oh
until
no.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, I
No,
had
I don't
no
think
idea who
anybody
he
would.
was. And then like now that I know him, I keep seeing him like in different things, like
Oh yeah, he's in
little
tons of
scenes
stuff
and
now.
stuff. But yeah, so that was kind of
Yeah, it was nice.
it
Honestly, it was nice to be
was just
surprised by
it
him.
was just really funny that the last time we talked on here was we were like you were like, yeah, well, I'm not gonna if you haven't seen Black Widow yet. And then I
Oh
watched it
yeah,
like
yeah.
right after that. And then we were watching the movie last night and we're like, hey, they're both in this. That was really funny.
Oh, it was. They pulled up his picture. They pulled it up.
Yeah. And you're like,
And I
hey,
was
that
like,
looks like
that looks like David Hart. And then they immediately cut to him with his big old like
yeah, big old
mustache.
mustache.
Oh
So that was
yeah,
kind of cool too because not only was like it was cool to see him in the movie, but it was him and Felix again. So
yeah, right. Yeah, that was really cool too. I was really happy about that.
and it was kind of showing that like the CIA is kind of they're shady. Like they're not necessarily bad guys.
Right.
Because even when M goes and talks to the prime minister, he's like,
Oh yeah.
you have to do what you have to do because of how all the countries
this
are
is what's
using the
up.
funds, and it's just how it is.
Yeah, that was an interesting scene. Both of those scenes were like really telling for like possibly what the whole rest of his franchise will be like, because you had the prime minister kind of being like, so what? And then you had the Felix at the bar just being like, like, what do you want from us type of thing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
we're all doing the best interest of like what's the best for the country or whatever, you know.
I do feel like the movie I don't know if they're because it was not a straight on Ian Fleming thing. I think they tried to make it more contemporary and tie in like oil stuff and like
Yeah,
monopolies and corporations and like high businessmen that ruin the world and stuff like that
right.
behind closed doors and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah, because like the big bad guy, like we're saying, he literally was just a shady business guy.
right, he was a nobody. It was kind of honestly, it was rough because you said that we were watching it and he's fighting him in the like burning down building.
Yeah,
And it's just like, how is this guy?
there's no way that.
How?
Yeah. I was like, there's no way this guy could take Bond on hand, like
No.
hand to hand. And you're like, yeah, that's why the building is crumbling and they're like doing all this awful stuff to Bond.
It's like every time he goes to punch him, like the floor gives out on him and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So they literally had to make it, like it was even. So they had to.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because otherwise he would have just punched him and been like, all right, that's fine.
Oh, and the axe, the axe in the foot got us both.
So it's not on par with the cutout hole in the seat.
Oh no.
But it's probably the next memorable thing from the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got the fire axe, Dominic Green. He's got the fire axe and he goes to like swing it at Bond and Bond like dodges and it goes like right into his foot. It's just like it like splits. Yeah. It's not like it because you think about like like an axe going into your arm, it's like a gash.
Yeah.
But like into the foot, like the blade would split through the toe and then down into. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad.
No.
We're just like, oh no. Oh, why would you swing it like that?
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough when that happened.
That's what everybody warned me about as a kid when we were camping and I was chopping firewood.
Yeah.
Like, you can't.
You can't, yeah.
That couldn't happen. And just the force that because he's trying to kill him. I mean, he takes a full swing and it just goes straight into Oh man. The other scene that I really like is the bodyguard on the roof is going way back, but like Bond's he grabs that guy, he's like
the special forces guy,
holding him off the edge and he's asking questions. And the bodyguard guy, he like knocks his hand off with his like shirt, and then he grabs Bond with the other hand, and Bond just like karate chops his elbow, and he just like he's already leaning backwards, and Bond just hits his arm, and he just drops and just completely falls off the roof. That also was starting to show like how well, because Dominic Green specifically asked the CIA to get rid of Bond for him,
right?
So then you can kind of see throughout the movie how they're setting him up for stuff.
Yeah.
So that bodyguard doesn't die from falling off the roof. They kill him and they make it like Bond killed him.
Yeah.
It's not hard to believe because that,
he's already been doing that.
Bond's been stacking up bodies since,
right.
Since the end.
Yeah. It's interesting because the same thing too, because he also thinks like Bond comes in the room and he also thinks that Mr. Green is trying to buy the land for oil.
Right.
He thinks there's some sort of oil connection. So when he bursts into the hotel room to confront M, well, he didn't know M was in the room. He just he reads the note that says run.
Yeah.
And he's just like, well, let's see what's in the room type of thing. And he says, he makes a comment about oil. and then he goes in, and then Agent Fields is dead,
Yeah.
covered in oil. So it's kind of like I think they were trying to, again, like you said, like set him up, type of thing.
Yeah. 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 Because like we didn't even put together till like the very end of the movie that like it was not about oil. It's about water.
Water, yeah.
That's kind of why they show that scene where like everybody's like at that well and there's no water.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that at first.
Because
Yeah,
they like show it and you're like, okay.
yeah, it was showing that they dammed everything up.
Yeah. Yeah. So his whole goal, he's his whole goal was to dam everything, right, and
Right.
stop the water, and then the land the land that he was getting from the president there, he was using to resell all the water back to them at like double the price.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, the whole time he was like doing a kind of a sneaky thing. But you said the same thing. You said earlier in the when he's in Haiti. Yeah, I think it was Haiti.
Yeah.
He does the same thing with he increases the price of what something or no, now he starts paying.
He was doing he made it so that like people, instead of making 85 cents
right
an hour or for the day, he made like the prime minister of like the country like pay people $1,
yeah,
which essentially like crumbles the economy, and it takes all of like the US's business out of Haiti because everyone uses the cheaper cost for wages down there to manufacture stuff.
Yeah, he said what it was, like running shoes and something else. He said what it was. Yeah.
So basically, all of those people like leave. They like leave Haiti. Like they take their business out of Haiti.
So isn't that interesting? Now that you said that, it makes me think that okay, so this guy goes in, or Quantum, right? These like people, they go in and they infrastructure things.
Yeah.
So that stuff like happens, and they can capitalize on either the success of something or the demise of something.
Yeah.
And that ties back into Mads Mikkelsen's character in the first.
Yeah.
He knows that this is going to happen, so he gambles, he bets on it, and then he makes money based off of events, because he knows what's going to transpire because he's connected to them.
Yeah. Because like the plane, right?
Right.
He put all the stocks against it because he was going to blow it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that is interesting. That's an interesting tie-in that like they both.
Which is why it explains why Mr. White kills him, because Mr. White is part of Quantum, and it's like, well, we can't trust you anymore, so we're going to kill you. Typically, too much.
And so Mr. White's still alive.
Yeah, he is very. Yeah.
They torture him in the beginning for information. He gets out of there, and then you see him again at the opera.
The opera. Yeah.
The opera. And I really like that scene because Bond is like on top of the stage.
Yeah.
Like stole the earpiece, and they're all talking about oil. And he says, he basically like calls them out so they know that he's listening. And then they all like stand up to like leave the theater. And he's like identifying all of them as they're like leaving. Yeah. With his little tiny flip phone that he's like across, like, all the way
in the dark. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh, face. Yeah. Face. Yeah.
We got this guy's ear, and we can extrapolate on the ear.
Yeah.
It's his eyes.
And, it is cool though.
It's one of those things that it's like it's right on the border of unbelievable and believable.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can see a computer taking parts of different thing and making like a mismatched face, which is what it does. But then also you're like, no camera's getting that much clarity in 2008 from like, however many feet away in the dark. Like that's not happening.
Well, MI6 has stark technology anyway. It's like with the money scene, they put it on the glass table and it expands and it's like all this stuff and they're like sliding it down. Like, all right, this guy here and this guy's over here, and they're like
right. Well, I think Iron Man 2 utilizes that, right? I don't think in Iron Man 1 he does that. He's looking at the computer monitor, right? And he sees the car and he tells Jarvis to make it. But in Iron Man 2,
Man,
he's sitting
yeah.
and he like pulls the thing and he finds the new element.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing like it's all around him, right? And he's doing like he's like pushing stuff out of the way, and then he's like combining
Yeah.
stuff. And
I think he's looking at his dad's he's looking at
the model.
the state, what the heck is that thing called? The World's Fair. He's looking at the
Yeah.
World's Fair like schematics.
Yeah, it was like a blueprint.
Yeah.
I love that scene because it shows that like his dad was a genius too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Dad knew like the technology wasn't there yet, but he basically made like the blueprint for it when the tech is there.
Yeah,
by using it as a blueprint for like the actual fair.
It's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, this movie jumps around like all over the place too. Right? It like starts in Italy, then it goes to Haiti, then it goes to Austria, then it goes back to Italy.
Yeah.
And then the whole end of the movie is Bolivia.
Yeah.
Well, then the very end is Russia. But like the majority of the movie is in Bolivia.
Yeah, and that's so weird too, because right, didn't you think that it was like out in the middle, like out Egypt way, like like the Sahara Desert, like way out? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it being like desert, not just like Bolivia desert. But I guess there's.
I mean, yes, it still is a desert, but it just wasn't.
Not what I pictured.
I just thought it was
deserts.
Yeah,
I pictured like the Sahara, like immediately.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like these huge dunes and everything, and it was more like it was just like mountains with sand in between them, basically.
Yeah.
And I remember you talking about it. I didn't think about it. It made me laugh. So what did? We opened up on a car chase.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
through Italy. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the double agent happens, right? He turns. He escapes after the interrogation of Mr. White's, and then a foot chase. And then Bond rescues Cammy from the Admiral guy.
Oh yeah.
And now it's a boat chase.
That's a boat chase.
And then where is it? Somewhere in here.
Trying to think. Yeah.
Oh, after Bond gets pulled over by the police and Mathis is in the trunk.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about how like Mathis is back in this movie again.
Right. Yeah, I know, right? But so we'll talk about it in a second. But right after that happens, and it's an airplane like fight scene.
The airplane chase, yeah. Yeah, I think that was it for the chases.
It was just funny because you were like, it's everything. Everything is
everything. Because like Bond movies throughout history have always been like I can think of oh man. What's the one? I literally have the poster up in the movie room. The Mardi Gras
Daniel Craig one, or is it
like the Mardi Gras one where
yes.
What is it? It's like Day of the it's the Beatles song.
Yeah.
Beatles wrote the song.
Not Die.
Yes.
I had to think about it too.
Yeah. Yep. So it's that one. It's like that movie starts off with like a major boat chase.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the early Bond movies had like boat chase.
Oh yeah.
I remember boat like jumping over bridges and the road. And
honestly, look it up. It's a really cool scene. You should see if you can get down here at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's Timothy Dalton Bond, and there's only two of them.
Okay.
His last name is like Dalton, I think, Timothy. And it's either like, I don't know. There's only two. It's like Living Daylights or whatever his other one is. And there's a snowmobile.
Oh.
And they're on snowmobiles. And it's a really cool sequence, but it's like you would never expect a snowmobile like chase scene, like fighting, shooting thing. But they do. They're on like I don't know if they're in the Alps or something, but they're on something.
Isn't there one in no, he's on skis.
Oh yeah, you're talking Roger Moore?
No, the next one. The last one.
Oh, Pierce Bronson?
Yeah.
Is he on time? I don't remember.
Yeah, because he explodes that building and there's like an avalanche and he takes off on like skis or a snowmobile or something.
Probably.
It's the one where I think it's like the Japanese guy. He's like his face is all diamonds.
Oh, you're talking about
It's like
Die Another Day.
Yes. If you're trying to
It's
think
the
of
only
Bond
Pierce
movie,
Brosnan one you remember.
it is. It's like the only one because I remember he uses like the acid Martin to shoot like the ice wall.
Yes.
It's like the only one I remember. I don't know why.
I guess what we're gonna
It's
have to
literally
do.
the same one that he rides to.
Yes. Well, yeah, I think what you're thinking about is that's one of the terrible sequences. Not what happens is cool. How it looks is terrible.
Yeah.
I think it's what happens. He explodes, and then he's on like a paraglider.
Oh, that's
and
right.
He's like surfing, and it's like a huge tidal wave, and he's like dodging ice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not great.
It's bad. It's bad if I remember it right. Yeah.
I guess that's what has to be next winter's thing. Is
we're gonna go through all the Pierce movies.
All 20 James Bond movies because they're all right. They're the same James Bond.
I like more.
Yeah,
he's probably my favorite, other than Craig. I would say it's Daniel Craig and then Moore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite James Bond. I don't know.
Not Shatner.
William Shatner. Yeah, he'd be great James Bond.
There's something on the wing. No.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery's pretty good. I like him.
Yeah. I don't know. Probably it's because there's only two of them. I really like Timothy Dalton, but I don't think he's like my favorite. I really like him. But it's probably because there's only two of his movies. But
yeah,
I don't know. I grew up with Pierce Brosnan. So anybody says James Bond, I think either Daniel Craig or Pierce Brosnan.
Awesome. Yeah.
Unless they're like an older person, I don't ever really think of Roger Moore or Sean Connery or the other guy. I can't think of his name, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
George, he did the one movie there.
Yeah. So Mathis, right? And we were speculating in the last movie that like the whole time, even up to the end, like I thought Mathis was the one.
Oh yeah,
double agent. Even when he like turns him in and everything, even after Vesper gets like found out, I still thought that like Mathis was behind it, but she had like a whole other thing that she was trying to do.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, not until this movie they don't expand on it at all. They don't. Well, even when Vesper's found out that okay, she's bad, she's in cahoots with somebody.
Yeah, because
they don't like show you.
M's giving him like the whole rundown at the end of Casino Royale, like what her story is.
Right.
He never says anything about Mathis or nothing.
No. Yeah. So it was really funny that not only was he in it, but they refer to like he apparently was he said he was interrogated and tortured and then found innocent, and so then they bought him a villa.
Bought him that nice villa, yeah. I love when he like shows up there and he's like, "Oh, what did you come to apologize?" No, I need a passport.
Yeah, I know.
He's like, "Oh, what did MI6 run out of plastic?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he dies.
So thinking about it, I think what happens is it's instead of him having in the first in Casino, he has the power and he has the police chief arrested.
Right. Yeah.
And Bond is like, a fellow, like we're two good guys dealing together. He trusts Mathis. They go forward. In this movie, same thing happens. He says, "Yeah, we'll get you there. We'll get you into the Green Party. We'll do all this stuff, and I'll talk to the police chief, who is like in Bolivia or wherever. He's a general.
Yeah, right.
And he'll deal with him. And then obviously, what happens is the general turns on him, beats him up, gets information out of him.
Right, because Bond says when Mathis is dying, Bond says, "Is Mathis your real name?" And he says, "No, it's his cover name." And he goes, "Well, it's obviously not a very good cover name," implying that like the general knew the whole time that like he is a former MI6 agent.
Right. Yeah.
So they like basically kill him and put him in the trunk of that car, and they know Bond is going to leave in it.
Right.
And they send the police after him to like check his trunk and basically arrest him for murder.
Right. Get him off their trail. Because I think the whole quantum people are supposed to be like they navigate things so that they don't physically do things. Other things happen,
Right.
and there's no connection to them.
Yeah.
Which is why when the special forces guy lands on the hood, and he's like, "Oh, is this one of our like quantum people or one of our people who's in my mix?" And they're like, "No." It's like, well, he can't see me. He can't know who I am, and that's why they kill him.
Right, because he literally, yeah, because he's not a member of Quantum. He literally was just the bodyguard of the Prime Minister, who is a member of Quantum.
But there's the thing on top of it.
No.
They don't know. They don't see each other.
Yeah.
When they have the earpieces on, they're just talking. They don't know who's who.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like they have the assumption, though, considering like they're talking to like high members of like the different countries.
Yeah, but I think it was stuff. Yeah, they absolutely knew that they're talking to high power people, but I think it was so that if any of those people ever get caught or do anything, they don't know anybody. There is no name to give you. Right. There's no face to tell you. There's nothing. You're like, oh yeah, I know people, but
the only thing that connects them is their Q.
Right. Yeah.
Because that was,
which I thought, didn't you and I both think it was when he was putting it in, I thought like, oh, are they dropping the guy who makes all of his parts for him and stuff like that?
Yeah, Agent Q. Yeah.
I was like, oh wow. I was like, oh no.
It was just really funny because like they show that scene where he like takes the earpiece and it has like the Q on it.
Right.
And I was like, it stands for quantum. And it like totally does. It wasn't like a joke. It was like real.
Oh man. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Quantum.
Yeah, so they all have those little quantum badges on there. Yeah. It's pretty good. So basically, the whole movie, right, is about like vengeance. It's about like Camille, her whole thing is she wants to kill the general for killing her family.
Right.
And Bond's whole thing is he wants to find out who was using Vesper. Like that's his whole goal. So she gets the general at the end.
Right.
Resolves that. So she's done. And then the very end of the movie is he goes to Russia.
Right.
And he finds Vesper's like husband.
Right.
So he's also a member of Q.
Yeah.
And his whole thing was to use high member agents to what am I trying to say? His whole goal was to use like higher people for like money or whatever to like.
Yeah. I think it was just like he was trying to get into things so that they could control, part of like special forces and stuff like that. Like, they got in with the British government, so they had like an in on MI6.
Oh yeah,
like that. I think they were trying to have essentially kind of like when Mr. White's sitting here and he's like, "You have no idea," and then the guy turns and shoots everything. I think they're trying to like have an inside man and like all of every infrastructure of everything, so that if something happens or something can take place.
Because the woman from Castle.
Yeah, I know.
She was supposed to be like a member of the Canadian like secret service, like basically Canadian MI6.
Right.
So his whole thing is to like make them fall in love with him. Then he pretends to be dead. They have their moles still in. And
now they're disloyal to their original thing, and they can now say like, well, hey, why don't you? Don't you want to get back at them for doing right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because he made Vesper think that like MI6 had him killed. So she was kind of trying to work against them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why Bond like tells the lady there from Canada like basically like what he was gonna do, and then to like go tell your people that like you have leaks, like because that's what they do.
Yep.
Yeah. But like you were saying earlier, like what was really interesting is the only two people that he gets to like question and interrogate in the entire movie is like Green and that guy.
Right.
and you don't like see what the conversation is.
No. And that's what makes it interesting, because now, before, like, I thought they were just like any other Bond movie, and I'm sure all the Bond movies connect in some manner, but
Yeah,
I just thought it was like poker game movie, desert movie, Scotland movie. I think, like, I forget where the Spectre is. It's like something. It's either like Mexico or something.
yeah,
And it was just like Bond is in this place and stuff is happening. He deals with it, but it's so much more like the events of Casino Royale are like slowly bleeding into the other
right.
movies.
Yeah,
Because
because
absolutely, Skyfall is going to deal with all the stuff that he found out from Mr. Green and Vesper's fake husband.
yeah,
It's
because I'm
all
really trying
going
to.
to play out.
Is the next bad guy? Is the next bad guy the guy that's got that island? He's got that big thing on that like uh, island out in the middle of the ocean.
Maybe I don't remember. All I know is the next bad guy is the thing with his mouth.
The mouth, right? Yeah, and he has like that big.
I can't remember.
I remember the scene where like they're trying to like shoot something off of like the woman's head, and and it's
Maybe okay.
and they're trying to shoot the apple off, and Bond like hits the apple, and then like they put another apple, and she like and he like just shoots her in the chest, and he's like, "Yeah, you won. You got you."
I
Like
don't remember
negative
that.
Alan, you don't remember that? Yeah, I
No,
remember
I don't.
the mouth thing was because he I think he was an agent and he took like the cyanide capsule and it didn't kill him, but it like destroyed his mouth.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm interested to see how that connects because I remember that movie, parts of that movie, but I don't remember how it connects to.
Yes, right. Yeah, I remember that they turn, like, they basically at the inside of MI6 like turns, and like M dies but doesn't die,
Oh yeah.
and it's Javier Bardem, and he's taking them all on. And there's a cool like subway sequence where he's like chasing him through London. And then he confronts him, and then the subway comes in through the wall.
Oh, that's right.
It's a really, really good scene.
Hmm. Just like in Men in Black when the worms in the
The
subway.
worm thing, yeah. What's his name? Freddie or Harry or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's a. I just didn't remember that these movies connect so much more. Because honestly, I think at the end of Skyfall they reveal Blofeld, and
Oh yeah.
it's his adopted brother or something.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, and then Spectre happens, and it's like it fleshes out his adopted brother's like life, and he's the head of Spectre, or at least a member of it, or
Right.
something.
Right.
I think so. I think that's what happens, but
And it's weird because like in my brain I picture like 3 different movies. Because like
yeah,
you're saying like the one that's in Scotland.
right.
I'm trying to remember like what else happened because like it's the only thing I remember is like Scotland at the end there where they're using like the secret tunnels and
Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember him fighting Javier Bardem, and they capture him, and he pulls his mouth thing out, and like M's apartment or her office like explodes,
the whole
and everybody thinks she's dead, but she's not.
yeah
Because I think Bond is hiding her. I think Bond knows that they're coming after her, and he hides her.
yeah, the main villain is literally trying to get rid of her.
Yeah, and then I think from going forward, I think that she's like Bond and her understand that like she's dead. And they
Yeah.
replace her with Ralph
Oh,
Fiennes's character
with
there.
with what's his name from Sherlock? Uh he's like the bad guy from Sherlock Holmes. Um
Is he?
yeah, what's his name? Not the maybe that's not the guy that replaces M, but he's like the like finance like tech guy.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
What's his name? What's his name? Starts with an M.
You're saying Moriarty from Sherlock?
Moriarty, yeah. The guy who plays Moriarty in like the Sherlock Holmes. He I remember him being in Bond. He's like an MI6 like guy, but he's trying to like undermine it from the bottom, but he's also trying to like change it so it looks like I think he's the guy that takes over for M.
Oh, okay. I just don't remember him being in
Yeah.
Sherlock. It's possible. I just don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's the same guy, unless I'm thinking of I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because he's a British actor too. So
Yeah. Ralph Finis is he's in a ton of stuff. I don't know.
huh.
I don't know who you would know him from off the top of my head, but he
I'm
plays the new whatever her name is. Maybe it's not Finis. His name is like Finaz or something like that.
oh
But he's this guy.
yeah, we'll see. Okay, I remember that guy.
That's who replaces Am.
But okay, yeah. So he replaces M, but his like second in command or whatever his name is.
I mean, honestly, it's probably you're talking about the guy from the Benedict Cumberbatch show.
Yeah.
He probably does. I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Moriarty who plays in that series.
Yeah, Andrew Scott is his name.
Andrew Scott.
Yeah, he's Inspector.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That guy. Yeah. He's Inspector and he works for MI6 and I think that guy that you just showed me, I think he kills him. I think he kills him and tries to take over MI6.
Okay. Wow, okay. Yeah.
I just remember like him and Daniel Craig are butting heads because he's trying to like change MI6 to like be like the new version and not be like secret assassins. He's trying to get rid of that. But also he's a bad guy and he's, undermining the whole operation from the bottom.
You're probably 100% right.
That's like the only thing I remember. And
wow.
That's from Spectre. Yeah.
All I remember from that movie, besides the upside down helicopter flight,
shot off the train.
Yeah. Does that happen in that one?
I don't know.
I think that's Skyfall. But is Dave Bautista.
Oh wow.
He's like the henchman. He's like the traditional Bond, like meanie
big guy.
The big guy. Honestly, I super enjoy him in that movie because he's like he doesn't say much. He's kind of like the old Jaws with the metal mouth.
Yeah.
He's just like the mindless henchman that attacks James Bond.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I really liked it because they honestly, when you watch these two movies, they don't really have that. They had like nobodies in Casino Royale. And then in this movie, you had the weird bowl cut guy. Like that was his henchman. Like they were nobody.
Yeah, the baddest guys that Bond is like taking on is in Casino Royale. He takes on the shitty guys
from Uruguay. The guys from Uruguay,
like the gorilla, the whatever they were.
He's coming at him with the machete. Yeah, I know. But those weren't even laches like henchmen. I know. Yeah, I know. It was. I missed it because like all of the Bond movies had like you had Jaws, you had like Odd Job.
Oh yeah,
you had all these like characters that were like you had to fight this guy to get to the main bad guy type of thing.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I know. It feels like we didn't talk about Quantum of Solace that much, even though there's a lot of stuff that happens in it, but it kind of feels like more of a bridge movie
it does.
To get to Skyfall, and it wasn't bad. It doesn't mean it was a bad movie. It just, I think.
Well, it kind of wraps up the whole Vesper thing. I mean,
right, exactly.
Like it's basically like, I was gonna do this in the beginning and I forgot the the actual synopsis, right, of the movie is it says following the death of Vesper, James Bond makes his next mission personal. The hunt for those who blackmailed his lover leads him to ruthless businessman Dominic Green, a key player in the organization which coerced Vesper. Bond learns that Green is plotting to gain total control of a vital natural resource, and he must navigate a minefield of danger and treachery to foil the plan. So it literally rounds out like Vesper's story. Like he gets her like husband.
Right.
They take MI6 takes him. That's done. He knows who he works. He knows who he works for. What the plan was.
True.
Basically gets his revenge by now going after the people who employed him to begin with. Like
Yeah.
now he's after Quantum.
Right.
So it's like a very typical like, oh, you got to do this, and then you got to find this guy, and then you get this guy. Like, oh, who do you work for? Oh, I work for this organization. Then he goes after this organization, and then like Quantum turns into Spectrum, and it's like this organization controlled by this organ. It's like this never-ending like up the hierarchy to get to
because then I wonder because that's the thing is I almost think the next leap is he finds the head of Quantum at the end, and then the next movie is him dealing with it, and I think he defeats them, like defeats the head of it. So then No Time to Die, it makes me think like, well, what are they capitalizing?
He's got he's got to
probably that he didn't really, destroy the head or something.
Never.
Probably. Yeah, no, it was good. I enjoyed it.
End of No Time to Die is going to be the final reveal is going to be Mathis was behind it the whole time. It turns out your friend Mathis was not actually my friend Mathis, but he was your friend, but not my friend Mathis.
No, you know exactly who it's going to turn out to be? It's going to turn out to be Earpiece Man.
Oh. Quit touching your ear.
Don't touch your ear.
I'm sorry.
They did that again. There were a couple things in this movie that they cut to, and I was like, why are they cutting to that? They cut to the lady getting shot in the crowd again. Like long after
they like he's like chasing that guy, and he like turns around and shoots at him, and it shoots like a person in the crowd.
Yeah.
And then like they continue their chase. And then like during the fight scene, they go back.
And she's
like, oh. It's like, yeah, we know she got shot. We saw
it. Right.
It's like they really wanted to be like, no. This person, this innocent bystander was shot. Like, yeah.
The only thing I could think of that they were doing was trying to show you that like she didn't die. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. And the same thing happened again. They go up the thing, and then the rope drops the lady's like a grocery delivery, and then she's like, "Oh." It's like, okay, like why? Why are you showing this?
Yeah, they like, I don't know. Was that supposed to be like fun? I mean, it was kind of funny.
We laughed. I mean, we laughed when it happened, but it was like moments after a lady getting shot in the crowd. So I can't imagine maybe they were like, "Ooh, that's bad. Let's make them laugh here and then keep going."
So what if they showed that scene right where like her fruit like falls?
Yeah.
All her tomatoes exploded, and then like they continue the fight scene, and then like just before they're on the ropes, it goes back to her, and she's just like picking up her tomatoes.
Yeah, really, right. I was hoping it would both pay off, like when he's doing something like he would use like an ambulance would hit somebody to contend with the lady, or like he picks up the box and like hits I don't know, just something. I thought it was going to deal, but it never did.
They were already out. They were already up the stairs.
Yeah. The thing that made me laugh too was he rings the bell, right? He rings the big bell at the top of the tower.
Oh yeah.
Where he goes up there so the guy can't hear him and doesn't know where he's coming from, but it just ends up like making it hard for Bond because Bond can't hear him. So it's like, he's like, oh, where is he? Yeah.
No, like the forethought was like, hey, that was actually a good idea, because like,
right,
up, like if he was close to it, his ears would be ringing. But like,
oh yeah,
he's just gonna pop out from behind one of those pillars anyway.
And they elbows them and they fall into the building. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I it's one of those things. I'm glad. Like, I'm actually glad that we sat down and like rewatched it, because if I just went and watched No Time to Die like right now,
I would no idea
I would be like, oh yeah, it was okay. It was an okay Bond movie, probably. That's how I would feel. Yeah, it was fine.
That's kind of how I felt the last like two. Yeah, it was a Bond movie.
Right, exactly. But now, like, knowing that they connect that they really, really connect a lot deeper, and there's a lot more going on to it than just, I don't know, him just getting shot at and racing cars around and stuff.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about Agent Fields being covered in oil. It reminded me of the lady painted in gold.
Oh yeah,
from I forget whatever Bond movie, but yeah,
it
was.
I think that was
like,
one.
oh.
I think that was from the one where he's driving the thing down the pipe.
He's racing the nuke. Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. Is there ice sculptures in the building too? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Remember he's parasailing through the. Yeah.
And he watches Halle Berry come out of the beach. Yes.
Why is that like? To me, that feels like three different Pierce Brosnan movies, but they're all the same movie.
It's all the same movie. Probably. I don't know. I really don't know.
Probably because it starts off like on a beach.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Ends like in the Arctic, so it feels like two different.
It probably suffers from the same thing that we did. We were too young when we watched them.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize that they all connected. I guarantee you, if you watch GoldenEye, his first one, and then you end with Die Another Day, they probably all connect. They probably all have like an underlying thing that they connect to. They probably do.
They probably
instead of it just being like, oh, it's a Bond movie and things are happening.
Yeah,
they probably have like an underlying story to it.
Huh.
Probably.
Yeah. Who knows? That'll be next one. We'll go through Pierce
I know. Well, I think we'd have to watch like 20 movies before to watch them all. It's pretty much like watching the MCU all over again.
Oh, I would probably enjoy that more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 Because only those movies are only like 10, 12 years old, and some of the movies are like 50 something years old.
Yeah, they're rough. Some of them are rough. Yeah. Oh man.
Well, very good. Yeah, it was good. I'm glad that we did this, and we will have to see what Skyfall does.
I'm looking forward to Skyfall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me too.
Cool.
Should be good.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me for another Bond.
Oh yeah.
It was fun.
Bond time.
Bonding.
Hey, you know what? Right before we close, your funny call sign off last time paid off in this movie. Mathis gives him that drink.
Yeah, he had like what, 6 of them at the bar or something.
Yeah.
He changed it slightly, right? Because he says it's shaken over ice till chilled.
Yeah.
Then served with a thin.
I think he says, yeah, it's something like that. He says like thick but thin or something like that.
Yeah.
It says something. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, it's like a wide slice, but like thinly sliced.
Yeah.
But that's what I said to you, was like the whole time he's telling everybody like, oh yeah, I don't care about Vesper anymore. But like now he's literally drinking the drink that he like named after her.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty fun.
Did you see at the end he drops her necklace in the snow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he's done.
He's done.
Over it. It was interesting that he literally gave the same necklace to the Canadian Secret Service lady.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
What a tool that guy is.
What a weird thing to choose.
I know. And he wasn't even like he's like like Bond is supposed to be like attractive and like suave, and this guy is like this kind of scarred up, rough looking guy with a biker jacket, and like, oh yeah, I make women fall for me, and then I use them. What? All right, dude.
He's got that beautiful necklace.
He must be really good at talking, because you don't really see him talk. He must be really. I don't. It was funny.
It's either that or they're really dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know. It was just, it's really, I don't know. It was weird, but
it's like they're all falling for this guy.
This guy.
Whatever.
Okay.
I'm afraid of your friend Memphis.
We both had a mutual friend.
Yeah, right. Where he jumps on the truck and shoots that general guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's pretty funny. All right, well that's another
Okay.
one in the bag.
Should I do a whole bunch of reaction shots? And you can edit them in, like when you're doing things, and when you put the video at the bottom, I'm like,
No, don't give me any more work.
okay.
It already
All
takes forever to like render this hour-long whatever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, you're probably into it. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. All right.
The last one took forever. Like I always feel like Chris Farley whenever we talk about movies. Like remember that time when Bond like shoots that guy? You're like, yeah. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Remember when he like was driving that boat and then like exploded? Yeah, that was awesome.
Fantastic.
Oh man. All
Love
right.
it. I love it.
Cool beans, dude.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you for the next one.
Skyfall.
Skyfall.